Hello everyone and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero, joined by Mr. Aaron the Voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai the Legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
Kahai, what's up, man? Welcome back. Well, I mean, you've been back for over a week now, you know? Yeah, how was your trip?
No, I've been back for like a couple days.
Yeah. So how's your trip?
Yeah, good.
It's good?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, man. Good.
Did that thing and did the other thing and yeah.
So you're here now. You were remotely joining us last week, but now you're actually here in the studio. So I am looking at you.
No, but he's joining remotely from home.
Oh yeah,
He's on
yeah.
Kauai.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Like as in here on Kauai.
No, we actually have like a glass bubble right inside. So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, just playing it safe. You know, Kai staying home. You know, gonna take his test, and then we're gonna congregate again in the same room. But just making sure everyone's safe. Just because stuff. Because help things, right?
We just want to, like just traveling safe, making sure everything's safe.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Thank you, Kai, for setting a good example for people, you know?
Yeah.
That's just doing your thing, doing your due diligence of making sure to stay home for a little bit after you travel, so as to not spread anything. Yeah. Not even that big boogeyman disease that's going around. It might just be like, if you caught a cold or something like on the mainland. Who knows? Mainland is cold.
Just being considerate.
Yeah, just being considerate. Thank you, Kai. Appreciate that. Oh, well, I guess the mainland's not cold. Mainland's, especially California, it's like on fire right now, right? Man, how'd you handle that heat, Kai?
Oh, it's hard, but yeah, we had air conditioning, so
nice. Must be nice.
I'm crossing my fingers for no apparent reason.
Did you give me anything, Kai? From your trip? Pop rocks.
Yeah, but you know how I'm in the glass bubble.
Yeah.
So I can't bring it out of the glass bubble.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean like next week. Give it to me next week here at the studio, live in person.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. It is 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time here in sunny Kapaa. Actually, it's quite hot here on Kauai. But yeah, it's Thursday, 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. It's time for the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. What we do here is we talk ukulele. If you guys have a question, just let us know. We'll try to answer it as best as we can. I'll try to answer it as best as I can. These two gentlemen will come up with their 2 cents, and we'll come up with the best answer possible that we three can come up with. Okay? Yeah, don't hold us accountable for anything that we say here that might be a little bit off, right? We don't always get it spot on, right, Kai? We might miss a few details here and there.
Yeah, we're trying, guys. We're really trying.
We're trying. We have Google on our side, but that's pretty much that's it. Based on our own knowledge and experiences and Google, that's honestly our resources for the show, right?
Yeah, and sometimes not even that. Great. Yeah.
But yeah. So, Kahai, what's the first order of business?
Well, we kind of forgot to talk about our last song challenge.
Oh yeah, and that was like so long ago, man. That was like 4 weeks. That was like a month ago, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So.
How did we let that happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so so do we have names of who put in their song for the song challenge?
Yeah. So we actually talked about Chris and Sue's submission, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Their song was called Lobster Fest.
Oh yeah.
And then Hamsini did one about, and she wrote a piece about chocolate.
Yeah. Cool. So do we have just those two?
Yeah.
Cool.
Or we actually got one more too from Brian. He sent it directly to me too.
Okay.
So.
U+ subscriber? No.
I think he's a listener. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all three of them, you can. So I don't know how if you're not because I'm asking if you're a U+ subscriber so that I can give them like extra lessons because if it was just two, if it was just Chris and Sue with Hamsini, I could just give them all like 3 lessons for whatever month they choose to use that third lesson with. But how would we do that with Brian?
Well, he can just give us his Zoom info.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So Brian, let us know. Get a hold of us, and we'll give you a free
If
15-minute
wins.
private lesson. Yeah. Oh no, I just want to give all three of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just give all three of them like extra lessons. Okay. So Brian gets +1 because he's not a UU Plus subscriber, and they get +1 as well. Why is that thing blinking? Is there any particular reason?
I don't think.
Are you there?
I don't know. I'll check it out.
Okay, so yeah, all three of them have get an extra private lesson, or gets a private lesson from yours truly. So 15 minutes private lesson extra. You can just sign up, and when you sign up and when you're using that third lesson, just put in on the description of what you want to learn or whatever. Just say that, hey, this is the extra lesson from the prize that I won for writing a song and stuff. Okay, and Brian, let us know. Get a hold of us and see what we can do for you. Okay. All right. So, should we start another challenge, since that was like a month ago? We're always like kind of behind in these challenges, right?
Yeah.
So, we could get some suggestions from the audience, but maybe we should just come up with something on our own. You know? maybe we shouldn't rely on the audience too much. You know, like we don't want to force things on them, right? You know, like I don't want them to feel like they're obligated to say things. I mean, we could come up with something for ourselves. You know, we're big boys, right, Kahai?
Yeah.
Right, Aaron? Sorry, I'll go with Aaron this time. Right, Aaron? Yeah, we're good. We're big boys, right, Aaron? Yeah. So, gentlemen, what do you guys want to do for the next song challenge? What we did? Let's just remind the audience what we did last time, Kahai.
Yeah. The last challenge was, the base guideline was just write about food. So that's why Hamzini wrote about chocolate,
Yes.
and then Chris and Sue wrote about Lobster Fest.
Yeah, Lobster Fest. So it was a great Bob's Burgers episode based on Lobster Fest. One of my favorites, actually. It's a good one. But okay, what I want to do actually is I love the intros that we have for Ukulele Underground podcasts, but like I think we should try to see if we can get some more intros. Like let's do another intro challenge. But let's have some guidelines to the intro challenge. So this time on the Songwriting Challenge for Ukulele Underground podcast is to write a song that could be used as an intro to this song or to this pod or whatever you want to. You can write an intro to an imaginary show. You can write an intro to a show that already exists, but write intros. Okay, that's or an intro song. Some of the great ones that come in mind are like whatever happened to stuff like that. Like let's get some good 90s show. Maybe that's one of the things extra things that you could do, right? Like a 90s intro song that because it doesn't even have to have words. There's some great 90s intro songs that didn't have words in it. So like for example, I'd like to play one for you. Something like that, you know what I mean? Like we would let's do that. So intro song to whatever show that you want to write an intro to. It could be if you do write a show or do write a song for this show, we can can feature it as an intro to one of the week's podcasts. Yeah, one of the future podcasts. Okay.
If you're writing a song for the podcast, like as an intro, the only thing is try to keep it relatively short. Just so we can.
We can't just take a like a 10-second clip or a 5-second clip.
We can, but it's just it's a little bit easier if you write with the idea that the song is gonna be used as an intro, and it's just
okay,
so long.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, write an intro song. Like some of the extras are 90s 90s TV shows intro. Make it kind of in that style. Let's see what else. Key. Do we have any particular key? Kahai, do you want to add?
The last one we did the key of F. So let me check what we did before too. But I think we've been staying pretty much in C, F, and G because we're trying to keep it easy.
Let's do A. A sounds good. They don't have to do the dreaded E chord. They can do E7 and A if they would so choose, or D. We want to do D instead. DGA sounds like a good 1-4-5. Yeah, let's do D. I don't think we do D that often. So let's do the key of D. So in the key of D, we have these chords. D. Here's your major chords. D, G, and A is your major chords. Your minor chords include F sharp minor, B minor, and E minor. And you also have C sharp diminished if you should so choose to use that. Okay? So we have, let's see. No, I'm trying to do the scale. I guess that's it.
G,
yeah. Okay. Those are your chords to the key of D. All right. So, what else? Anything else you want to add, Kahai? That might be fun.
You wanna give like a suggested like chord pattern, that people can start off with.
What's a 90s chord pattern, Aaron? You're good at that. That's a cool 90s chord pattern. You did an entire video on it. What's a good chord pattern?
I don't know.
Let's do maybe D, A, B minor, G. Okay?
Yeah.
So do 1, 5. Well, would that be 6? Yeah, 1, 5, 6, 4. Okay, so 1, 5, 6, 4. That's the chord progression we come up with. Or and for those people who don't want to make it that complicated, you can do just 1 and 5.
Well, this is just like a
suggestions.
Yeah. To get people who don't even have no idea, just start with these chords.
Right. So I wanted to give a nice 4 chord progression and a 2 chord progression. So 1, 5, just D and A if you want to just do that, or D, A, B minor, G. Okay. And that's it. You can add more chords if you want to. You can play 3 chords if you want to. It's totally up to you. It's going to be your song. You don't even have to do it in D if you don't want to. That's still just a suggestion, okay? All you got to do is write an intro song to a show. It could be an existing show. It could be a show that you make up yourself, or this show. Okay, and if you do write a song about this show, Kahai said try to make it short. Try to make it short, and so that we can use it as an intro to one of the future episodes.
Yeah,
okay?
I think like a 20-second song is pretty good, or 20-30 second. Okay. So I mean, you don't have to be exact. You don't have to be worrying about it, but just if you make for sure a 1-minute song and you want it to be part of the intro, just know that I'm probably gonna have to cut it down. So that's all we're saying too. Yeah.
All right. So Kahai, today let's talk about. So there's a lot of opportunities nowadays to kind of go and meet people that you look up to. There's ukulele festivals is kind of going on right now. So if there's someone in particular that you watch on YouTube or that you listen to or like their albums and stuff, you could probably go to an ukulele festival and see and talk to that person and stuff. But I've heard that advice of never meet your heroes, because you might get disappointed if you meet them. But let's look at the other side of that, Kai. Have you met anyone that you looked up to that you're like, man, I really want to be that person, and I met that person. That person's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I would say
let's do a non-ukulele related and an ukulele related. Let's just do that. So for you, who?
I don't know about non-ukulele related. The thing too is that I can say that I've seen some people, or I've not hung out, because I make shave ice from I would make shave ice for my dad's company.
Oh, cool.
And we'd make it at a party, and I remember seeing Jack Black at a party, right? But I didn't get to talk to him or anything. Or a lot of these people.
Did he seem nice?
Yeah, he seemed totally cool, and he seemed how he's always kind of seems like he has energy and he's bubbly. It seemed like even
he was kind of like that.
Yeah, just walking into the party, he was I couldn't hear what he said, but like he was like talking to the person he was with, and he was like whispering, and he was like cracking jokes and doing stuff. So it seems like he's pretty much the same.
Yeah, I like hearing stories like that. I'm like, man, you know, I've always wanted to meet that person, and I did, and that person was awesome. Instead of like the other,
exactly what I thought he was gonna be.
That's cool. So ukulele person that you're like, man, I'd like to meet that person. You met that person, you're like, that person's cool.
I think in the community, it's I would say it's more rare to meet somebody and say like, oh, they're kind of a jerk. Like most people, yeah,
pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think the experience that stuck out, and I said it before, right, is like when we went to NAMM and we met Jake, and I think
I never met Jake before.
No, I don't think so. And I didn't even really talk to him. It's just like, you know, like, oh, hi. And it's just like, oh, this is Kahai, you know, and I shook his hand, and that was pretty much it. But then I think the next year that we went, he was like, oh, hey, Aldrine, hey, Kahai. Like, he said my name. And I'm like,
my name came out of your mouth.
Like, I don't expect that out of, like, you know, anybody who meets me for one time. But it's like, that is pretty impressive that, he does stuff like that. So that was
cool. That is cool. And we had him on the pod a few months back, right? And I don't quite remember it now because it's so long ago, you know, like it's just so long since the Pallet Town video came out, Kahai. That was long ago. So the Jake episode is even longer than that. Do you remember if you remembered you in that pod?
I think, I don't know, because I'm not sure if I'm not on camera, right? So
that's true. Yeah,
he couldn't even see me.
Yeah,
but like even before we recorded, right? He's the kind of guy, right, where we're just hanging out. We're saying like, oh, we're gonna start the podcast in 10 minutes, and he goes like, oh, is there anybody else in the room that I should be like that I should know is gonna be a part of the podcast or something?
Yeah.
So it was like, just making sure that even, you know, to make sure like, oh, if I hear somebody else calling from outside or whatever, I know their name, is like that. I think that's like a
considerate dude.
Yeah, that's a classy act, right? Like that's
that's
really
just good. Being like ultra professional, and I think like he's in that like level of professionalism anyway. Like he's reached that level of like celebrity status, like ukulele celebrity status, and I think that comes with certain usually comes with certain responsibilities. But Jake, regardless if he had that status or not, I think he would, you know, he would be that considerate anyway. He's one of the, you know, those people.
I think it just shows like, because he could like not do those things and he could still come off as like a really nice guy, really, you know, is like really polite and everything. But it's like just those little things that kind of just seem to like push it over the edge, where it's like, man, like he really, it's just, you know, making sure to make real connections, not like artificial or superficial connections. Just being like, oh, here's my business card, you know, call me later or whatever. So.
It was Jake that introduced me to this Japanese proverb of Ichi-go Ichi-e. Have you heard that before, Kahai?
I don't think so, but I kind of know the words, right?
So Ichi-go Ichi-e, the way that he explained it to me, it's like one chance, one meeting. One meeting, not meaning, meeting. One chance, one meeting. And it's just like, you never, you know, like get that first impression or that first whatever interaction, or you never get that ever again. Like, and he's just kind of like, he approaches a lot of the things, you know, like not just professionally, but just things in life in that same kind of sense of Ichi-go Ichi-e. And Ichi-go Ichi-e, that's like the most simplest way of doing it. It's super duper deep and profound and stuff. But for the most part, you know, the way that it was simply explained to me, I know like people are like, that's not it. That's not just that. Like, so I know, okay, but we don't have another hour to just talk about Japanese proverbs. But and it was a great way to kind of, you know, explain just how, you know, how he presents himself to people, because that same exact story that you just told me is I've heard that many times before from like other people. My cousin boy, like Tito boy, he's the same thing. He saw him one time at like we were playing at you know, we were just kind of jamming and stuff, and Jake joined us, and then we had another time where Boy saw him again at Kapiolani Community College, and Jake was like, "Oh, hey, boy." And I was like, "What? How does he remember my name?" And Boy's not even like anyone that like that. At least you're like in the pod and you're like part of our company and stuff. Like Boy was, like he was just like my cousin who came like at that one random day. So and that's and that was incredible. And that really left a lasting impression on him. That's cool.
It's like the thing where politicians, they like shake the hand and kiss the baby.
Yeah.
Like when I met him, I didn't feel like he was doing that. Like just like, I'm gonna meet you and I'm gonna say your name once so you feel like, oh, he knows me, and then never remember you again. Like I really feel like he, when he meets you, he's like, okay, you have my attention. Like I'm focused on you.
That's like a superpower because I don't have that.
No one has that. He's the only person that I know like remembers people's names and makes connections with everybody.
And it's not like he doesn't meet a ton of people. Like every single month he
at least like 1,000 people. Oh man, it's and off topic. I remember when he first remember MySpace, guys. Remember you guys had MySpaces, right? No, oh, Aaron, you did, right?
Yeah.
But I remember because Jake's not like the technology kind of like person and stuff, and he still kind of has a hard time with like social media, and he has like a whole team backing him up now. Anyway. When he first started like MySpace, you had your like top 8 friends or whatever. I remember being super proud, like I was one of Jake's like top 8 friends. Like, oh man, look at his top 8. It was cool. It was cool. And then like I think a week or two later, when he learned how to use MySpace, I was no longer top 8.
It was
because my name was, I don't know, maybe it was A, but. Or maybe it was like the order of like who you friended or whatnot. But I like took a screenshot just to like, hey, see, I'm like his top 8. We're like good friends and stuff. No longer like a week or two later, but it was at one point I was Kahai. So
he didn't know it, but I was.
Aaron, how about you? You traveled in a bunch of places. Now let's go with non-ukulele, like celebrity you met. You're like, this is pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't think I really met any celebrities.
Another thing too. I'm sorry for interrupting. But I just remember because it's like you saying celebrity reminded me. Is like, yeah, he is a celebrity, but just meeting him didn't feel like it. Is meeting Loren Bouchard.
Loren Bouchard, Loren Bouchard.
Of course, he's like he's super successful and everything. But then meeting him is like just super down to earth, like normal guy and. He was same thing as Jake, right? Like when you're talking to him, he's looking at you. He's not like distracted or anything. So it's amazing. Yeah.
Cool dude. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Loren Bouchard.
No, I don't really remember meeting too many like celebrities.
I see.
Right? Yeah.
How about ukulele celebrities then?
Ukulele
you're like, man, that person is so cool.
Yeah, all of them have been
who
amazing.
And why is it Danielle ate the sandwich?
Yeah, that would be my default.
I already know, like just by looking at your eyes, like he's gonna say Danielle.
Yeah, I would say Danielle. She's
so cool.
As far as like the kind where like you kind of get an idea of who she is just from her videos and stuff. And then when you meet her, it's like, yeah, she's pretty much exactly that.
Who I thought she was gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool. And I've met a lot of really cool uke celebrities as well. And like Julia Nunes is another one. She's like pretty quirky in her videos. And we hung out in Thailand. We toured together, and I'm like, that is awesome. And Danielle is a huge example for me too. Danielle is really cool, but. I want to talk about this because I put a video like a few weeks back on my channel for Step by Step, which is a song that was done by a group called Cologne, which is Jake's former group. So Jake and Lopaka and John played together in the form of Pure Heart, and then John left the band and John Cruz's brother, John Cruz's brother Guy Cruz, entered the band, and they became basically, they were calling themselves Pure Heart, for a little bit because they didn't have a band name, and then they started calling themselves Cologne afterwards, and I was a huge fan of, like, I mean, of course, Jake, and then so anything that Jake did, I would be like the first in line at Borders to buy that CD, So I bought that Cologne CD, and I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, this is, I didn't know I wanted this. Like, basically Pure Heart, but with like that John Cruz like voice, like that soulful kind of voice to it. It's kind of amazing. And I don't think it's on Spotify or
it wasn't John Cruz, right? So,
no. I'm just saying that voice, that kind of voice. That type of voice. Yeah, it's Guy Cruz. And but it's not on Spotify. I was looking it up. It's not on Spotify. It's not on iTunes or Amazon Music or whatever. But if you can like eBay that album, or if you ever make it to like Hawaii and go to like a used like CD place, I know you do. Can we show it? Let's show it here
somewhere.
Oh, right there. Yeah, there it is, the Groove Machine. Oh, and you got the special edition one too.
Why?
Yeah, it's like a holographic one.
Oh, that's.
Not all of them are like that. Yeah, I have one too. So it's like shaped like a CD, like it's got the like the like buttons, kind of like a CD player, like back in the day. But this is the Cologne album, and I did a cover of the first track called Step by Step a few weeks ago, and really I remember like idolizing Jake for his work with Pure Heart, but then I'm like, okay, cool, let's see, let's see all the ukulele work that he does in this, and it's just like ukulele work on steroids. Like, honestly, like he got so much better from Pure Heart to jumping over to Cologne. Like, this is when he was experimenting with like slide ukulele, with distortion ukulele, and like all these like really cool like back then just like groundbreaking things with the ukulele. So if you guys are interested in some ukulele history or just Jake Shimokuro stuff, this album, if you can find it, amazing. Yeah, so good.
So
this album is
like
so good.
Just before he started doing solo stuff.
Yeah, because he did solo stuff after this group, but this they won Hokus for this as well. And I remember watching that, like that Hoku Awards where they won this. They were like in, I can only describe as like Asian clothing, like that matching Asian clothing. It was if you can find a clip, Kahai, I don't know if you will, but it's pretty interesting. I was gonna say it's pretty interesting, but it's cool. And I bring that up because I had an experience with Guy Cruz, and I want to say before I get into the story, rest in peace, Guy Cruz, one of the one of Hawaii's like best kept secret, and I don't think it was a secret that he was that he was amazing, but I just don't think that he got the kind of adoration that he should have gotten for how good he was,
Well, being part of that family, you get
of course,
outshined by everyone.
I guess so. But can you play Island Style? Like, that's my brother John. But I can play it,
And he wrote songs didn't he write songs for both John and Ernie or something? Like, Ernie and John played his songs too.
So great musician, and I had the awesome chance of meeting him. I used to play at this place called Diamond Head Cove, and he was the entertainment that night for Diamond Head Cove. But then Marcus, rest in peace also to Marcus, the owner of Diamond Head Cove, or former owner of Diamond Head Cove. He was like, Aldrine, can you come in? Because Guy might not make it tonight. He might be busy or something. He might not make it. So I'd like you to just come in, just in case he can't make it, and you're kind of our backup, ukulele player. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. I live just down the road and stuff, so I brought my ukulele, to the thing, ready to play. and then in comes Guy Cruz, and immediately like I went from like, oh yeah, I'll just like I'll play songs and stuff, getting ready for a gig, to like transport back to like myself in high school listening to this album for the first time. My car stereo filling with his voice, and I was like, oh my god, it's Guy Cruz, like, and since I have my ukulele, he's a super cool dude, just like John and stuff. And he's just like, hey, like you want to just jam on the set and stuff? You have your uke already. Why don't you just plug in and jam? I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna jam with Guy Cruz right now, like the guy from Cologne, like from pure heart, basically, And I'm like, yeah, I'll jam. And he's like, okay, cool. So this one's in E, and he played that song. What is this? Like, All Right, the second track of this too. And like, I listened to this almost religiously when I was in high school, and I learned all the riffs, to this album. And he's like, okay, this is an E. Okay, just kind of follow. I was like, okay. And then he started playing All Right. I'm like, oh, should I like? I'm gonna do the riffs. I'm gonna do the riffs. And then he started like laughing, like while he's like kind of playing the song. He started laughing, and before he could even start the first verse, he stops. He's like, Is there a little pocket here too? He's like, is there a little pocket here as well? Because we got a Jake apparently in the house and just playing all the riffs. Is there a little pocket somewhere here? Or can we find one? Like, maybe we can play the song properly. I was just a little cracking up. Super cool.
Did Marcus not jump in on the congas?
On congas. But like such a cool experience, and like that, that entire family is kind of like that. What with the ones that I interacted with, it's just like, hey, why don't you just come up and jam? It's like John Cruz is exactly the same way. It's like, why don't you come and jam with us? We're gonna play island style. The chords, right? So like super duper memorable moment, and that was like before like the Ukulele Underground thing happened, before anyone even knew who Aldrine Guerrero was. So like I'd have been a really like one of those uke players, like a beginner that didn't know how to play an E chord, and he's like the first song that he jams with is a song in E. So I don't know. It was just a really cool moments to kind of share, and then getting to kind of cover his song for one of my my weekly videos on YouTube. It was just kind of surreal, and I was just thinking about that. I'm like, man, this is something I want to share with the audience, and I say that family because I had the same experience in the same place with Ernie Cruz Jr. Like, who is part of the Kyle Critter Boys, and he was the voice of Kyle Critter Boys. I mean, Troy sang too and stuff, but like Ernie Cruz Jr., like his voice, like that House at Pooh Corner, like you name it, like Still the One, I'll Be Your Baby Tonight, like the list goes on of like the legendary tracks that he sang on. I just finished a gig at Diamond Head Cove, and in comes like, were you there? I feel like you were there, but in comes Ernie Cruz Jr. And I'm like, oh my god, it's Ernie, just like, oh my god, it's Guy. But then like Ernie wasn't there to play music, and then Marcus welcomes him, hey Ernie, whatever. It's like a secret spot for like musicians to just like to go and have some ava or kava, and I don't know, like enjoy a nice bowl of acai, So he was just there, and I guess Marcus knew him. Is like, hey, this brother Aldrine, he's a big fan of yours. You want to jam a song with him, like real quick? You guys can plug in. You can use that guitar. There's like a guitar there always. So Ernie's like, yeah, we'll jam, and I'm like, oh my god, I get to jam with Ernie, and just a really cool, like just kind of giving, just those brothers, like did a lot for me, like not just like being inspired by their music and stuff, but being able to jam with them and kind of getting their musicians hospitality, like of being so open to jam together, even though he's like a legend, at that point in the business. He's like, oh yeah, I'll jam with this kid or whatever. And last but not least, like, and also rest in peace, like Uncle Ernie. It's man, that one hit me hard, like because I met him a bunch of times before, but he probably I didn't remember by the time he was, we jammed together at Diamond Head Cove. But after that, we're like, I considered him like like a good friend. I saw him a bunch of times after at this at the same place, but last but not least, John Cruz. Like my first gig on Oahu was basically was set up by John Cruz, because I saw John at one of the Kauai Music Festival, and I was telling him, hey man, and that happens in the summertime. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna move to Oahu pretty soon, like for school and stuff. And I'm gonna go there. You know, I have this thing lined up with this producer. I don't want to say his name. You know, like, you know, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to do stuff like on Oahu. But I don't know, like, you know, do you have? I forgot how I asked him, and I'm like, you know, if you know of any places that I could go jam at and stuff, like, you know, that would be awesome. He's like, so when you moving? And it's like, oh, like in September. He's like, so it's like a month from now. Okay, you wanna jam at, like, and he gave me like a specific date. It's like, okay, you wanna jam this whatever Thursday or Friday at this place called On Stage in Kapahulu. I'm like, wait, what? You know, like, he's like, yeah, you wanna jam at On Stage? The place is called On Stage. You wanna jam at On Stage? I'm like, let's just say September 10. You know, at September 10. I was like, yeah, I guess I can't say I have plans, you know, like I do now, I guess. He's like, yeah, I'll go, you know, like that's my gig. He's like, that's my gig. I'm supposed to play that night, but if you want it, it's yours. You can go, you know, you can go play it on stage and just play, you know, play my show or whatever. I do that every week. You can have it on that week. I'm like, what? Like, and I mean, we've met a few times before, but it's just like one of those things that, like, yeah, if you're looking for help or whatever, you want help, you ask me for some help. Now here I am helping you. You know, it's just incredible. And so the first gig on Oahu that I had was set up by John Cruz, and it's just like, so teaching like island style and hearing island style throughout all the ukulele clubs from all around the world. It's amazing because it always reminds me of John and his friendship and how he set that up for me. It always takes me back to that place, and that's the same place that from the same story that, like, me and that Jake went to go back home to change my string, and I borrowed his uke. That's the same place. That's the same
That wasn't
venue.
the same gig though.
No, but that's the same venue. Like, so I became a regular at that venue thanks to John Cruz. So it's kind of cool, and I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, nowadays, like, there's all these like festivals that are kind of happening where you can meet all these, like, you know, these ukulele heroes or just people in general, and because social media is you know, it's a great place to kind of, you know, reach out to people that you admire. And I've always heard that advice of never meet your heroes, but sometimes, you know, you should, because you'll find out right away if there are people that you want to keep looking up to, or, you know, or not, you know. And in my case, there's been many cases where, like, they've like exceeded my expectations of the kind of humans that you know that they are. So it's kind of cool. Like, just don't be afraid if you're like if you're a ukulele musician and you want to get some advice, or you want some help. Just ask. Like, go to the ukulele festivals, and you're like, oh well, I'm trying to work out your song or whatever. I can't quite get this chord, or I can't quite do this or whatever. What was that technique? Feel free to ask these guys, because like I've had great luck, you know, like asking for some help, and people are always willing to help you out. If there's something that I've done, like that that you're curious about, any kind of song that I do, or if you want any kind of advice being a musician on Kauai, I'm always down to help out, because I want to pay it forward.
I think the whole Cruz family, right, is like, they're great facilitators of music, like just the music community in Hawaii, because like those stories are not like isolated cases, right? Like you hear stories like that, like from all over, and not just Oahu and Kauai, but like all throughout Hawaii. Because like Mike, you know, Magic Mike, he plays with John too, you know, when John comes down. Yeah, pretty often. And even like I've heard him talk about like when John plays on Maui and stuff too, he'll do stuff like that where he'll just like, you know, go like, oh, you want to come play up on stage with me? You like to whoever is down on there, and they're you know, like they're like, oh, I'm just starting out. He's like, oh, come, you can come play with us, you know. So yeah, they're great like that. And like you said, like if you go to a festival and you want to ask somebody something, or you just kind of want to, you know, throw out like, oh, can you help me with this? yeah, like do that, because I think most times you'll get a good, like people will be nice. And for the time that if you ever run into somebody who's like mean or whatever, that's probably like the bad grape in the bunch, like, right?
Yeah.
Like it's
0.0001%.
Yeah, like we were talking about ukulele just clubs, right? Like, where it's very rare that there's a ukulele club that's like, oh, I didn't like that, or those people are mean. It's like, no, most people who play, and like you probably will get a good, experience from meeting and talking to whoever. Right?
Yeah, so just wanted to share that. I figured, like ukulele, there's a lot of really cool ukulele players out there that you should definitely hit up, or you should meet, or you should, be friends with, because they're super friendly people. We had Craig and Sarah on the show not too long ago, and Sarah said, she was just a uke player, that came out to our show, and then started meeting people, and then she met Brian Tolentino and all these other other great musicians, and look where she's at now. So just go out there and meet and gain as much knowledge as possible. I mean, they had the best advice too. Like if you want to do, if you want to be over there and playing at festivals and doing what they do, you gotta be part of that, part of that community. You gotta ask to help out. You gotta ask to, to participate. You can't just go in and be like, I'm this person and I demand that. So, just use every opportunity. I know, we're in a time right now where we can't have festivals and stuff, but even just people are doing online festivals all the time. And I think you should definitely take advantage of every single time any one of your, the people that you see on YouTube or whatever, and support these, these musicians and introduce yourself if you can,
Yeah, I mean, I think some of our members, like Craig and Sarah will be doing a live stream or something, and I'll see them there. And then I go to Cynthia's live stream, I see them there too. Yeah. So it's just and you can tell that it's not just this is my first time popping in, or this is the only time I come in here. Like some of the, that's how you kind of get into the community, because some of our members who we will call out by name, these other people will also know them too. They're like, oh yeah, I totally know Devin from California, or I totally know whatever.
Alan Fastic from from Denver.
So it's just, and
Colorado, not even Denver, Colorado.
It's hard, because I don't want to say oh yeah, just go out and meet people, and then somebody comes back and is like, I met this person and they were,
I took your advice and
they were so mean, and I didn't really like it. It's I'm sure there is one person out there who it does, is a grouch or whatever. But for the most part, if that one person does do something bad, just move on to the next person at even at the festival, right? Because that person will probably be nice, if a festival invites 5 performers, I can't imagine all 5 of them being jerks, it's I'd be surprised if one person was a jerk, but all 5 was no, that's not gonna happen. So.
Yeah, who has some good celebrity stories is Mike. Next time he comes here, I'm gonna have to ask him.
Ask him.
See if we can.
He's met all kinds of people.
There's one story in particular. I don't know if he wants to tell it or whatever, but I'm gonna ask if he can tell it on the show, because it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But so Kahai, did we have any questions from last week that we didn't get to? That was I know the live chat had some questions, but we only really answered 2 questions. Do you remember?
From last week, or from
the week before?
Oh, the week before. Yeah, sorry, the week before. Showing my hand here.
No. It's great. It's great. No. It's fine.
But you have archives, right? Yeah, you can look it up, right?
I'm looking through. I don't think so.
Okay, because I remember you mentioning a couple weeks ago that we had some questions, but I think we only really answered. I remember one from Jim and then one from Renee.
Yeah, and then after that, they kind of just talked to themselves.
Each question was 30 minutes long. The answer was 30 minutes long. It's kind of talk story.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think afterwards everybody was talking about the things that we're talking about.
Okay. All right. So while doing that track, I was or that video that I was talking about from Cologne and stuff. It really took me back, like doing all the riffs again, and that was some of those riffs like I've never heard, and it's not like I could watch them perform and figure out what that stuff were. And I remember like some of the stuff that I kind of I'm like I was familiar with that, like that octave, the parallel octaves and stuff. He used that one a lot, but then there were things like triple pull-offs that he was doing the like stuff like that. And I'm like, what the heck, like.
So you had to figure out
like, I was like, what the heck? Yeah. And it sounds so simple now, and people are like, yeah, it's just whatever, just pull it off. But like back then, it's like listening in and like, is he doing that separate? Or like how would you even do that? So like I'm only doing that now because I know what the riff is. But then if you think about it note wise, it's like like how to and it's like fast,
really fast, yeah.
And what was it like? I remember doing hearing the slide, and I couldn't figure that out for the life of me. Like he has a song in there where they do, like Will He Come Down, I think the song's called, and there's like some slide ukulele. It wasn't until like
he's using like a glass slide or something.
It wasn't until Jason Arimoto like kind of taught us how to like properly do it by like doing the thing where you make sure that just watch the thing. I don't want to give away Jason's secrets, but there's a thing that he does that makes doing slide ukulele a lot easier or more attainable. But there's a song there called Serrano, and I played that for an ukulele festival competition that I did, and I just ruined my nail by doing that song, because there's a part in that tune where like Jake used to play with Savarez strings, and the C and E strings were plastic wound, okay? And he would do this thing where he would take his like I guess the string, and he would rub it, and it would create this kind of like this sound, like I can't describe it, but it's like kind of like scratchy sound when he did it. I don't know if that was what he was doing in that track, but it's in a track called Serrano, and I was like, okay, cool. So we're playing the song. I got to do that part then, And I would take my ring finger, and I didn't even have like several strings at the time. I think I had like the aluminum wound. So I would take my thumb and my ring finger and just use the nail on my ring finger like this, where it's like laying on top of the string, and would just go like that. Like how you would you do the slide on with the pick
guitar,
with the guitar slide. It's kind of like that, but without the distortion. I don't know if you can imagine that. So it's that kind of sound, but without the distortion sound. And it wasn't like it was just like a slide down like this. He like rubbed it like and like the higher he went up, like the higher the noise went. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm trying to learn all the riffs to it, and I did that, and I would just ruin like my nail. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna let this nail grow out, and at the day of the Waimea Town Celebration ukulele contest that I would play at, that's when I would do it because I couldn't do it before then and ruin the nail. So it's one of those cases where like, what is he doing? And to this day I don't know. That's just my guess is what he did. Maybe
it sounded like it.
I guess. Now thinking back, now in retrospect, he probably used a pick and did that so that he wouldn't ruin his actual nails doing it.
If he was using plastic wound strings, that's probably not as
but it would still eat away at your nail.
Regardless. But I mean, compared to you using
aluminum,
metal,
aluminum string,
aluminum wound.
But now with future glasses, like I think. It was like you could probably get a pick and get that same sound and do it like that without having to to hurt yourself. That's what I should have done, but classic example of like I think this is what he does.
He probably saw like rock guitarists do that. Where it's like I know one song in particular is like Face Down by Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. They do that right at the start of the song. Zzz. But that sound, it's always giving me goosebumps, like anything.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what other thing also makes that exact sound is if you ever have like anything that has like a hologram, you know, like the texture where it's like you just go like this back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, and
you
you
put your nail on it, it goes zzz, zzz, zzz.
yeah, because
like,
which 90s kid hasn't done that?
yeah, and I get chicken skin every single time somebody does that. So I know, like just you describing the sound, my hair was going like standing up.
Also, one more thing about this. I love this album so much. One more thing, and this is I can't believe I didn't mention this. Tapping on the ukulele was done, or at least recorded for the very first time. That album. There was no, like, at least none that I've heard of before. I've not heard tapping on the ukulele until the Cologne Groove Machine album. That was on Drift Away, which I still do to this day. The version of Drift Away that me and Aaron play on stage is the Cologne version of Drift Away. And in the part where it goes, when my mind is free, he does this tapping. Oh no, thanks for the joy that you've given me. He does that. He does that, like that kind of tapping. Very first time I've ever heard it on any album, this one. So like this has like a treasure trove.
And how did you figure out what he was doing?
I saw him at Borders and I asked him. Because before, when I was playing that song with Pua Ting, my old band, Pua Ting, I was doing this.
Yeah.
Which is not it. I knew it wasn't it.
Yeah.
But it was like.
But if you don't know what tapping is, right? That's like probably the closest thing you can think of to get to tapping.
That's how I was I remember that's how I was playing it, because I remember a gig that actually what was Seth Yamamoto's old band called? Like in high school, he had a band with some dudes. We were playing after them. And I remember that's the first time we played that song, like Drift Away. And I just had taught Andrew and Seth that song. And I'm like, okay, Andrew, when it gets to this part, I'm going to do this thing, okay? And then like, it just came off so terrible. And I'm like, yeah, it's just like the CD. I'm so excited. I'm like, to be able to play that part, like that, you know, that gig. And it wasn't until after I met Jake. And then I'm like, so Jake, there's this part in the Cologne CD, because by the time I met Jake, he was already a soloist. You know, he was playing at Borders by himself. So this album had just come out. No, not just come out, already came out. So I'm like, what is that thing that that you did in this in this song? He's like, oh, it's called like tapping, and that's when I learned how to tap. It was at Borders, you know, when I was a senior in high school, because I couldn't figure it out for the life of me.
How jealous are you of like all the kids now? There's so many kids who learn like Dragon, right? And they don't have to guess what it is.
They have no idea of the struggles that I, as a budding ukulele player, had to go through. But I guess as a teacher, it's great because, you know, like I've already done all the trial and error, you know, that of trying to figure stuff out. So I know how to tell people that like this, trust me, it's this, like it's this thing. I've done it that way, and this is how you do it, you know? Like
it's hard too, because right, like actually struggling and learning by listening and not by like watching something can actually make you a better musician too, right? So it's the world is like people's oysters now, but in some way I feel like it's harder to get to that level because you don't just like, you know, like I don't have anything, so I'm gonna just try and do whatever I can think of, you know. You don't have that creativity to like try new things just because you don't know what the actual thing is, right? So
that album means so much to me, and like the like just as a growing uke player, and then like it's one of the, and I don't mention that often, you know, like, but that actually has a lot of like techniques in it that people, you know, should at least take a listen to. You know, this really early experimental Jake, because there's like, you know, Jake went through all these like phases of less like experimenting with pedals, and then going with like the natural route, and then like the boomerang phase where he would like loop stuff, and then now back to the like pedals phase. So there's all these like all these different phases, and I follow his career and style very closely because I feel like he is one of the most groundbreaking ukulele players out there. So if you follow that like that line, you can actually see like where some of the ukulele techniques have evolved from. Like it's really cool. I know I'm just coming off as a huge fanboy, but really from like
but you are, so
yeah, I am. But like from a from an ukulele player, or even as a historian, ukulele historian point of view, technique wise, you can kind of see like where where it evolved from. Like Dragon evolved from the like from that tapping technique that he did with just the one string, and it became like this whole like strum with like the different tapping on different strings and stuff. It's really 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 interesting because I don't know, I want to listen to another album that's going to make me feel the same way as I did with like Pure Heart 1, 2, Kyle Creator Boys, and Cologne, like but the same kind of like passion coming off of these albums again, man. Like I can't wait for the next person that inspires me.
Yeah, well, I think what's kind of amazing too, right, is if you talk to, like Jake and stuff, is like he'll also tell you like things that like blew, where it's like, oh yeah, I listened to this and that was crazy, right? I think he did list, like in the podcast we did with him, he lists all the players that he thought were like, I'm like, Jake, stop, you're killing me. I gotta link all these people. But he was like, yeah, so even, I think even if you get to, like what is like the very top, the pinnacle of perfection, like I think even then you'll probably still have appreciation and respect for other people, right? Like for what they bring too.
Yeah. So cool. I just want to gush out about that because I did the I did that cover a few weeks back, and I'm just like, this. I had just so much fun. You can tell, like when you listen to that, that track that I made, is just like, yeah, it sounds a lot different from like the previous tracks that that I've made. Where it's just like I thoroughly enjoyed making that track just because like I get to recreate all those riffs and stuff that I listened to long ago. Yeah, even the video itself, I was just having a blast. It was cool.
Yeah. Cool. What was that technique? So when we met Imua Garza, it was you, me, and Calais.
Yeah.
And both you and Calais had the same question for Imua Garza about a very specific song that he had on one of his solo albums.
It's like the harmonics, like it's like running harmonics.
So neither you nor Calais knew how Imua did it. Yeah. And so he explained it to you.
And Calais is another one of those people that try to like perform surgery and all these all these CDs and stuff by listening.
You just gotta figure out
it's not
what they did.
Yeah, and for people listening, it's not like you guys met together, you and Clay, and were like, oh, let's ask Imua this question about this.
No, you guys independently were stumped
on the same thing, right?
Yeah, about how he pulled off a certain technique.
Yeah, it was like I don't know what it's called, but I call it the running harmonics because it's like a sweep, but harmonics, like a harmonic sweep. I guess that would be the word for it, but I call it running because it sounds like it's like a run, but it's like all harmonic. Still don't know how he does it. He showed it to us, but I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Like when someone when you're like, how do you do that thing, and then somebody shows you, you're like, okay, never mind. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Like I'm not gonna be able to do that. I think Calais kind of can now, because I remember Craig mentioned it. Like I think he was it was during the cruise, like the Craig and Sarah cruise that that Calais was on, and Craig was like, he did this thing where like he was doing harmonics, but like he was doing a sweep or whatever. Like exactly what you're talking about. I know where that came from. I can't believe he got that power. Oh, that just made Clay more powerful. He's growing.
That's from, is that from Imua's like
Dream Speaking?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so like all these albums that inspire me is like, that's the one. It was I think Jinxie Gets the Catnip or whatever it's called, like whatever, like it's some kind of cat song or whatever, and it's just like, oh, what was that?
Yeah.
Because the song itself, like, okay, cool, I can kind of get that, and then he does that run, and I was like,
how did
what? Rewind. I'm like, I wish.
Alien powers.
Oh my god!
does this guy have?
I wish Ukulele on the Ground existed.
Just tell me. Tell me how you do it.
Tell me how you do it, or I could just watch a video of him doing it, and I could dissect it, with that. But no, no visuals, all audio.
I need, not like now, right? Where it's like, oh no, I can't see from this angle. I'm gonna switch to somebody else's camera phone angle. I can't see from this angle. I need to switch to somebody else's camera phone.
Yeah, I mean, I was that guy. I was like, no shame, that dude that like, because we didn't have camera phones back in the day, but I brought like a video camera to to a bunch of the gigs that I went to Jake's gig. I still have those videos, I remember watching Imu Garza play with Opihi Pickers. My friend Hoku Aki, he had like a benefit because he got his leg bitten off by a shark. Remember that? And the benefit concert, the headliners were Opihi Pickers. And we were also playing, but it's just like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I bring my video camera, and it was just fixed on Imu Garza. I'm like, that's cool. I mean, not that everyone is doing bad or anything, but I'm really only interested in what he's doing.
I just want to unlock some secrets.
I was that guy. No shame, I was just no shame that guy. Just bring his video camera and just record people so that I can steal stuff. And it's weird because at least like Jake is, he's older than me or whatever, but me and Imu are the same age.
He was just that much better.
Yeah, he's just that much better than me. That's cool. I have no problem admitting like when someone is at a much higher level than I am. I'm like, I'm gonna take that.
So
I want to learn.
Yes.
So after you recorded it, then you put it up on YouTube, right? And then you use the slowdown feature on YouTube to figure out each part, right?
I sound like such an old man.
Such technology.
And then like actual older people are like, oh, you don't even know the struggles of like breaking your records, just rewinding stuff back and forth.
Yeah, the needle.
Yeah, the needle, breaking the needle.
Well, yeah. And I think even I think you told me, right, Aaron, that Imua has a story too where he like locked himself in a room just to try and like learn ukulele or something. So everybody, like when you get to that level, it turns out that everybody's kind of obsessive about
so it's just practice, I guess. So that's the secret. Unlocking the secret, quote unquote, is just working on stuff. Like I can't accept that as an answer, Guy.
Well, ask any ukulele player. Andrew Molina talked about it on our podcast.
Kahai also, has done that.
Just woodshedding.
Yeah, because like he couldn't play baseball anymore. He broke his his arms. It's like, oh, let's play ukulele.
It's funny too, like on the Ukulele Friends podcast, right? Like when you at the very end of the podcast that you were on and you were playing, and then Jake was like, oh, I love when you do that one technique right there. And he's like the only one who said it, right? And it's like, when you get to that, it's just kind of like it's almost like artists just like looking at each other's art and it's like, I love your art. No, I love your art.
And that's basically like a Jake technique that you stole from him and then added on to, right?
Just added pull-offs to his parallel octaves.
So it's funny.
Parallel octave pull-offs. Like, let's just say that's an Aldrine thing. Let's say that is. But man, so this has been fun. Kai, is there any business that we need to take care of before we go?
So the week that this comes out, next week is gonna be the first Thursday of September. So it's gonna be open mic again.
So next week Thursday open mic. Do you know the date on that?
September 2nd.
September 2nd, the day before my birthday. I'm getting old. Speaking of same age as Ibu, man. So September 2 is going to be open mic. So make sure if you want to join us, make sure you log in to Ukulele Underground. It's going to be 2:30. It starts at 2:30. If you want to share a song or two, it's going to be 2:20. Just to make sure that everyone's there, that we get a head count on who wants to jam and who doesn't. Feel free to just come and just listen to people playing music, but we would love it if you shared a song or two. That'll be great. if you are gonna share 2 song set has been our thing now. So you can play 2 songs. And everybody gets 2 songs each, and then we'll kind of go throughout the list and stuff. If we have time, then we'll maybe do one more from someone that wants to do another one. But yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, or if you just want to do one song, you can.
Yeah, you can just do that.
But
yeah, you can just do
we're saying like everybody gets 2 songs at first, like, and just to make sure we get through everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So, if nothing else, guys, if you like the Ukulele Underground podcast, you want to support us, you can support us by signing up for UU Plus. Head over to ukuleleunderground.com and sign up for UU Plus. That's how we bring you this content every week. That's what gets the gears going here at Ukulele Underground. So make sure you sign up for UU Plus. Lots of cool stuff that goes along with UU Plus. You have access to a mountain of archives of videos that we've done throughout the past. Ukulele Underground has been around since 2007. So all the content that we have is over on UU Plus. You can check out a lot of the content just with ukuleleunderground.com and with their YouTube. But if you want all of it, head over to UU Plus, and you get 2 free private lessons from yours truly. 15-minute private lessons you can sign up for. I do those every Mondays and Tuesdays. You can sign up for 2 of those a month. I just really want to be able to help you out personally on your ukulele journey, and make sure that that we're in this together. If you need help, I am there to help you out. If you're working on a song, I can help you out. If you have questions, I will be able to answer them for you. And it's just in a one-on-one setting. We also have live coaching. So if it's like a quick question, or we have that as well over on UU Plus. We have ukulele 101, 102, 103. We have blues. We have Hawaiian. Last week we talked about Hawaiian culture and stuff. So if you want to learn more about Hawaiian music, we have that course available. We have some guest instructors, including Imua Garza that we were just talking about. Yeah. So he did a bunch of videos explaining things. So if you want to help support the Ukulele Underground podcast, make sure to sign up for UU Plus. Okay. Keeps things ad-free. We don't have any ads on the show, so if you want to support us, that's how you do so.
But it's like PBS. This program is sponsored by viewers like you.
Viewers like you, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah. Sign up now to UU Plus. For those of you folks who are watching this video, that link right over here. Yeah, right there. Okay. I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you tomorrow for Aloha Friday Live Instagram Jam. Aloha Friday Live Instagram Jam once again. Kahai is still in his in his bubble. So making sure that everybody stays safe. We'll see you guys next time. So 1 p.m. Instagram tomorrow. Okay, Aloha Friday Live Instagram Jam, 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time on at Uke Underground Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. We post up some stuff. If you want to be kept up to date with everything Ukulele Underground, follow us there. Yeah, Kahai.
One last thing. Yeah. Next week we will also be back to live podcasts.
Yes.
I mean, we've been live all the time.
Yeah, we're talking about
extra live.
Yeah, super live. A live. All right, guys, we'll see you folks next time. Have a great one. Aloha.